Some say a DJ is only as good as his record collection. I would rather go for the latter, because for me, mixing doesn't really matter all that much. I want to hear a song. I don't want to hear any fancy blending. I want to hear the song from beginning to end. And if the song is too weak to play it in its entirety, then it's probably not good for club use anyway.
Number one, number two, number three, corner, the day inside from our life. Now here we go. 1, 2, 3,
This is a shame. This is one of the best records. African Brothers Band. One of the best ones, but it's whipped, it's hammered. They're all too scratched. If only that African Brothers International Band record with the train on the cover would have turned out to be not scratched to death, I would have been completely ecstatic and dancing around all over that kitchen. And that Afrobeat track on this one record is just insane. With the introduction and everything, it is so good, and I need that record. I need that record in good condition.
Anywhere you go to, I mean, people will tell you that if you can get hold of me, you'll get whatever you're looking for. Because people will know that I was on radio for a long time. And I started collecting music records in the 60s. And, but for the fact that most have eaten a lot of them, I would have had a lot.
Goddamn those moths! I can't believe I'm holding this in my hands. I found this just a few days ago in a backyard kitchen.
Oh, I see.
And completely scratched.
Oh, shame.
My people, I hope you are all there alive. Number one, living. Number two, fear. Number three, corner, the day inside proper alive. No. Now here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. That's a guitar.
Yeah.
This makes me so happy. Really. God damn those moths.
So you could have had more.
Really? What a plague. And they're good for nothing.
Some people eat them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would eat them just out of spite.
Let me ask you a question. It is said that DJs always play music for people to dance, but they hardly ever dance themselves. Is it true?
I'm a dancing fool.
Wow.
No, really. Sometimes I embarrass myself, but I don't care.
So you leave the turntables?
Yes,
and,
of course, and I dance. Sometimes I have my wife start the next record because I'm too busy dancing.
Okay, all right.
I love dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, a DJ who doesn't dance, that's
But how can
You-
you,
you
if you
cannot
don't get
trust
into
him.
the music yourself, how can you play the
Exactly,
music for
exactly.
the entertainment of other people?
exactly. It would be like a cook who doesn't eat his own food.
You see?
Afternoon, VC. All right, wanted to come on and I'm going to share a record that's come in the mail in this video at some point here. Just want to kind of talk about the background involved with this record. It popped up, in Discogs on the, hey, this is what is in your want list, and they send you the email with the listings, and I was shocked to see it there. There's only been one copy for sale for $700. It was higher. I think the guy lowered the price. It's in South Africa, the seller, and it's not in the best of shape, and it's just been sitting there for sale. And with taxes and tariff and God knows what else, shipping from there, you're going to spend over $800 to get that record here. So it's always just been one I've let sit. So there's been a few copies that have popped up on Discogs and sold for pretty good prices, but the condition has been horrendous on almost all of them over the last, going back to like 2020. And then this copy popped up for under 200 euros. Of course, it was a little more with taxes and tariff and shipping and all that, but incredible to find. And the record itself is in really damn good shape for an African original record from Ghana, and found it in just a crazy place. I just kind of remarkable. But if you've seen this video, the clip of the video that I put in, you know who that is, and you know a little bit of the story. But it's Frank Gosner. He was a DJ from Germany. Grew up in the Black Forest area. He was doing these crazy DJ shows in Germany, like sexploitation themed shows, and he ended up moving to New York. He was doing a DJ gig there, and he really got into record collecting, and was collecting all the funk 45s he could find from the South while he was in the States. And he ended up getting married to a woman that worked at the United Nations, and so she ended up getting a gig in Guinea in West Africa, so he went along. And for 3 years, all he did is go out digging for rare African records. And he would have a guy with him, whenever he went to homes and stuff like that, which was really smart to do. And Frank spoke multiple languages, probably spoke at least 3 languages fluently. So he did pretty well, and he was always looking for certain specific records to make for his mixes, and he really was a stickler on condition. He would leave records if they were scratched really bad and would not play through. And it was, really hard to find clean records going through Togo and Benin and Ghana and Nigeria and, all those countries. And I think he said Ghana was really tough to find records. But he was able to amass a lot of great rare stuff, especially 7 inches. He went back to New York. After he got back to New York, he hired boots on the ground in West Africa to keep records coming to him for his collection. So I think he had about 5 guys looking for records for him, and he would pay them through the record sales. They would get a cut. So what he did is he had one person putting records up on eBay for him, And then he had another seller in France, a friend in France that would sell online. And I've actually found that seller in France. Different seller than what I got the record from. But the thing that really made me curious is once I found that seller in France of the records that Frank got, I noticed that a lot of the very rare ones that were in Frank's personal collection are now for sale. They've just been popping up, especially the 7 inches. Just like one copy, the first copy that's popped up on stuff for the last 6-7 years that I've had in the want list, because I wrote that shit down when I saw him find these records in that video years ago. Because they're just, the music's incredible on some of this stuff. But the prices are really, really high. This seller in France, highest prices that have ever sold or are listed for, it's always this seller. So I'm not probably going to get anything from them, but it's still cool to know that they're Frank's records, because Frank's portable players, the picture that this seller has up on the Discogs. But all I could find out from reading articles and interviews was that he ended up moving. I think he might have gone on some, trips back to West Africa to find more records, but he ended up moving to Costa Rica and kind of disappeared. And they asked him if he was, doing anything as far as collecting records down there, and he wasn't. But he did start a record label, and it was pretty active from 2011 to 2016, and then it stopped. And that is the Voodoo Funk label. And I got a record on that label, and I didn't realize it until kind of doing this research. And this is a record that I got VCLT from Dom at Seeking a Thread. The Black Hippies from Nigeria from 1977. Really good Afro rock right here. And Frank Gossner put this out, and it's freaking awesome in 2014. So I do have a record on his label. And so with the label being defunct, it appears, I'm wondering if he might have passed away. And Ann was seeing his records on the Discogs, some of the rare ones, or at least records that went through his hands. Maybe he just wanted to go off grid. He could be around, I don't know. It's an interesting question. The internet isn't specific. But had a lot of fun kind of doing that research. And yeah, what he did in West Africa was incredible. That's just digging on, like I said, an absolute another level. Talked about some of the trips in the south of Nigeria, which is very dangerous. And, he risked his life digging for records, seriously. Like he said, you had to be very careful what kind of bus you used. Like you couldn't just take a big tour bus, because they were targeted by people with machine guns. And they would get on, and if you're a white German guy, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb on that bus, and you're going to get messed with. And he talked about some of the crazy stuff he saw. Like, they would even stop people in hearses and think that they had stuff stashed in the coffins, and they would bust open the coffins, these people with machine guns. Like, it was crazy, the stuff he was talking about. So, yeah, pretty incredible the places he would go to dig for records in West Africa. And so, to the record, this was one of his most prized that he sought out. And, he found it in that kitchen, and it was torched, and it just broke his heart. But then he ended up getting a lead because, he would put out flyers or did radio ad, and so people could call him and say, hey, I have these records you're looking for. And I think it was the daughter of a DJ in Ghana that reached out to him and said, hey, my dad's got everything here. And he did find the record. It's the African Brothers Band International of Ghana, Locomotive Train, Miko Tarkwa, with the iconic picture of the train on the cover. Now, my copy, you know, it's not the best of shape cover-wise, you know, but it's all there. It's all in one piece. There is some tape around the border, which doesn't bother me at all. And there is some writing. Some kid drew like some steam coming out of the train, which is fine. But it's on the Happy Bird label, and it is as described. You know, VG on one side, leaning VG Plus on the other. In really great condition for a 70s African record from Ghana. And for the price, compared to what the other copy's been listed for all those years, is really incredible. I really dig this. It's kind of a mixture of styles, I would say. You know, native Ghanan music is in there. Afrobeat is pretty heavy on some of the cuts. Leans high life at times. Really, really great one. And this popped up in Lyon, France, in a reggae shop that sells like musical instruments and stuff like bongos and whatever else. And the seller was very, it was an interesting transaction. He wanted me to go off Discogs to Instagram to look at stuff, and I was just like, no, I just, you know, I already paid for the record. It was like, this is the part where you put the fucking record in the mail. There's the time for negotiation is over. You had a price, I paid the price, put the fucking record in the mail. He did, so he was professional about it and got it here very quickly. So it was very cool. Very stoked to have that record. Pretty rare one. There's, I think, 63 in collections on Discogs. So the people that have had this record know how good it is. There's none for sale on eBay. There's, like I said, only the one for $700 in South Africa on Discogs. So yeah, it's not one people are really willing to sell too often. And yeah, the one that Frank was looking for in West Africa, pretty hardcore. And all I had to do was click the button a couple times on Discogs and make sure the seller kept the seller straight, and it's here. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Hope you're all well. Peace.